Okay, it's the OnePlus 9. I've been using this phone for a little bit over a month, and it was actually the phone that I put my SIM card into right from the beginning. When the review units came, the 9 and the 9 Pro, I put it into the 9 because I thought that this would be the device that I'd be switching over to instead of the 9 Pro. I like the flat screen, the upgraded camera system. I thought that this would be my phone for this year. And there's a lot to like about it. It truly is a great phone in a lot of ways, but it does have a fairly large deficiency in the camera system, which we'll get into in a second. So let's get into the stuff I like about it first. So I really like this display. Flat screen. It gets more than bright enough. In fact, I actually find it quite difficult to tell the difference between the 9 and the 9 Pro in terms of how bright they get. Same with the touch sampling rate. 9 Pro goes to 360 Hertz. This is at 240. Both super responsive. I feel like the difference is almost imperceptible. In terms of the resolution, it's a 1080p panel, so you can tell the difference between this and a 1440p screen if you look for it, but I think at this price point, $730 US, most people are gonna love this display. The speakers are good. They're stereo and they sound just like the 9 Pro speakers to me. They're not like gamer phone good, but they're good. Now in terms of battery life, 4,500 milliamp hour battery that was comfortably getting 7.5 hours of screen on time every time I charge this thing. The one thing I noticed though is that I'm getting more consistent battery life on this than the 9 Pro. And I think it's because it's 1080p screen, doesn't have LTPO, so your battery life is more reliable on your everyday use. Whereas if you're just staring at websites on this thing, you can extend it a lot longer because it can drop down the refresh rate. But on this, it's more consistent. The super fast 65-watt charger is included in the box, but the wireless charging capabilities is reduced a little bit on the 9. So the 9 Pro has a 50-watt wireless charging capability. This only has 15. It's like a more standard, somewhat semi-fast wireless charging. I'm perfectly happy with it. I feel like you'd have to have some very demanding needs to really need that 50-watt wireless charging, but I think the overall hardware on the 9 is pretty solid, right? But because it's OnePlus, being the new OnePlus, they gotta get one in. So let's talk about the cameras. So I was convinced that the camera system on the 9 would be at least as good as the one on the 8 Pro because it's the same sensor, right? And it's got the new Hasselblad partnership with new software. And well, let's just get right into it. For whatever reason, the OnePlus 9 does not have optical image stabilization on the main sensor. It's the weirdest thing, and it's a very unfortunate thing. So what is OIS and why is it important, right? It's a hardware feature that moves the sensor and the lens around physically inside to compensate for your hand when it's moving around taking pictures, right? You want your hand or you want the sensor to be as still as possible when you're taking pictures. Now, in perfect lighting conditions, it doesn't make a difference. It's a quick shutter, there's no difference, right? But if you have any kind of tougher shooting condition or you're trying to catch something quickly or you're taking a picture of something that's moving, it's very noticeable. And I am shocked that they removed it on the OnePlus 9. Basically, every OnePlus flagship has had OIS for years, and they removed it on this device. And this is a $730 phone. This isn't like their super cheap Nord lineup. This is, for all intents and purposes, a flagship device from OnePlus, and it's gone. And it really makes a difference, especially in low light photos. The images are just softer than they should be. And then combine it with the fact that there's a bit of shutter delay right now. It's a software issue that we've talked about in several videos, but even if they fix that, there's something about the lack of OIS that makes me feel like this isn't as good of a camera system as it should be. It really should be better because look at the price point of this thing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the world's most expensive phone that doesn't have OIS. Like what other phone that's $730 does not have optical image stabilization? Like legitimately, it's strange for it not to have it. Now, the software otherwise is great. The Hasselblad partnership has great colors for more realistic looking images and better skin tones, and the ultra-wide sensor is also really good. It's just like the OnePlus 9 Pro, nice, clean, distortion-free images. I like the ultra-wide, I like the colors, but the lack of OIS straight up sucks. And same with the zoom lens, right? But not having a zoom in here, but leaving behind the black and white camera, it's just, for them, for OnePlus, the cost of switching out that black and white camera for a zoom lens would have been so inexpensive and the user experience would have been so much better, but they do it because like this, right? You know why they do it. It's like, why upgrade the 9 Pro when you can just downgrade the 9 to make the 9 Pro look better? It's the classic upsell. Okay, now I don't want to take away from the best feature of OnePlus phones. Really, it's their software. It's what drew me to the brand in the first place, and even to this day, it's just so much better than any other Android offerings to me. It's clean with a lot of extra functionality, which I value. I do hope, though, that they continue to support their older devices in a more timely manner. I feel like they've kind of dropped the ball over the past year, and their older devices aren't as well supported as they have been in the past, but overall, I still think that they have the best software in the game. Now, the real question is, do I still recommend this phone? $730, no OIS, plastic frame, no zoom. Is it still a good phone? Yes, it is. It sucks to see OnePlus doing this like strategic and like tactical removal of features to upsell the OnePlus 9 Pro. I hate seeing it. Like, clearly they're doing it for profit, right? By removing that stuff, this guy looks that much better and looks that much more appropriately priced. But I just don't like it. It's weird. And I don't think other companies do it as aggressively as OnePlus. Because the removal of OIS, that's serious, man. No one else has done that yet. Okay, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.